Yo, Shalom. This is Chris Holyman FX. I want to tell you an interesting thing about reason why I don't have freeze tracks. And a lot of people always wonder why. Now I understand. It makes so much sense why I don't have it. Reason is a deep modular system. Like we dealing with the rack and everything, right? So when you're freezing the track, you're freezing the rack, the CVs, the routings, and the automation. You gotta freeze a whole lot of stuff that might cause a serious conflict when you're trying to freeze that instrument. So I assume they can't wrap their head around it, like what way it makes sense to do it. You know, like if they could do it, or if they wanted to, because you gotta remember it's routed with so much stuff. So if you're routing that and you're freezing it, that might, that have everything else has to be froze too. So meaning it's very complex. And that's my point. It's very, very complex because you gotta remember we're dealing with a rack. People, think about this for a second. Do you want to deal with the rack? Right? Do you want to deal with the rack or not? We know the pros and cons of the rack. We know there's a lot of pros than cons of the rack, So that gets very tricky, man. What you think of idea, what you think the best idea, or what can they do? If it was that. I mean, we do have the option where you bounce the track right next to it and then you just turn off the instrument. You still can get it, save some CPU power if you're having that issue. I don't have that issue. I mean, me personally, I never like to freeze my tracks, even if I got froze tracks. Even when I was in Side Studio One, I don't like to freeze my track. I like to still deal with my instruments because I still like to tweak the instruments during my production process and everything. Because sometimes as I'm going, I might hear something where I can change real quick. Make it sound better where it fit more with the music. So I don't like to go back and forth, freeze, unfreeze, freeze, unfreeze, freeze. But I get it with those people who creating very huge, large projects, 200 crazy tracks, whatever. But again, that's what the bouncing is for, So tell me what y'all think about this. Our reason being a very complex thing and what they have to freeze up just to have freeze tracks. This is CH. Peace.